Washington Commanders' initial 53-man roster is officially set by head coach Dan Quinn, and today on the Commanders Report, I'm going to be breaking down all 53 members of the initial roster for your Washington Commanders. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. If you are excited for the start of the 2024 season, I know we are here at the Commanders Report. If you are as well, kick off today's show on the right foot by clicking that thumbs up icon to help today's video. Okay, let's go to the quarterbacks here. They are rostering 3 quarterbacks on the roster this year. Jayden Daniels listed as the quarterback 1, Marcus Mariota as the number 2 quarterback, then Jeff Driskell does make the roster as the number 3. I think we all knew that this was going to be the rotation. It is just a matter of, did the Commanders want to take the risk of putting Driskell on the practice squad to take advantage of the emergency quarterback rule that the NFL has? They decided to go with Driskell on the final roster. Sam Hartman is expected to be on the practice squad if they can retain him, which I think they will. Then we get to the Commanders running back depth chart here, and we get to Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Ekeler are going to be the number 1, number 2 combo, and maybe a little bit surprisingly, Jeremy McNichols gets listed as the number 3 running back. They release Michael Wiley, they release Austin Jones, some of these other people that some people thought were going to kind of sneak in past Jeremy McNichols. Chris Rodriguez Jr. doesn't make the final roster either. It is McNichols that ends up getting that number 3 spot. Then at the wide receiver position, they carry 6 receivers this year. Terry, Olamide Zaccheaus, and then De'Ami Brown are listed as the top 3 receivers on the depth chart right now, with Luke McCaffrey, Byron Pringle, and Jamison Crowder rounding out the rest of the room. Now let me know down there in the comments section, what player or what players do you want the Washington Commanders to bring in via waivers? Are there any players that were cut or released by other teams around the league that you would love to bring in to be members of the Burgundy and Gold? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Let me get to the tight ends here. They're carrying 4, and a little bit of a surprise with Colson Yankoff, the undrafted free agent, getting and earning himself a final roster spot. Zach Ertz will be your number 1 tight end for week 1. Ben Sinnott, the rookie out of Kansas State, really had an impressive preseason and training camp. He's got a really bright future. Really excited to see him play. And then John Bates, a really good blocking tight end, will be the number 3. Yankoff will be kind of a depth piece, but the fact that he goes from UDFA to the final 53-man roster is really a great accomplishment for the young man. Then you get to the offensive line here, and the Commanders carry 9 offensive linemen to start their season. Brandon Coleman, Nick Allegretti, Tyler Biadasz, Sam Cosby, and Andrew Wiley is expected to be the starting rotation to start the year. You also have Cornelius Lucas, Chris Paul, Michael Dieter, and Trent Scott making the final roster. So they carry 9 offensive linemen this season. So coming up here, we got the Commanders defensive roster to break down right here on the Commanders Report. But before we do so, with fall right around the corner, guys, our friends at Factor Meals can really help you out and fuel up with them with no prep, no mess meals today. Meet your wellness goals in time for fall thanks to Factor's menu of chef-crafted meals with options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and even Keto. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are dietitian approved and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. So no matter how busy you are in your busy life, you'll always have time to enjoy nutritious, great tasting meals. Make today the day you kickstart a new healthy routine. What are you waiting for? With 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week, you'll always have new flavors to explore. Make your day delicious from breakfast to dessert. Stay fueled with easy nutrition options with our friends at Factor Meals. So head on over to factormeals.com/commanderschat50 and use code commanderschat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code commanderschat50 at factormeals.com/commanderschat50 to get 50% off your first box plus another 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. A big thank you to Factor Meals for sponsoring today's edition of the Commanders Report. Okay, so we get to the defensive side of the ball here, and of course, Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr., they're running a 4-3 under type of scheme this year. So you got Dorrance Armstrong, and they actually list Jamin Davis as the other starting defensive end to start the season. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne are your starting defensive tackles. You also have Cleveland Ferrell and Javonte Jean-Baptiste, who does in fact make the final roster here as the other defensive ends. And then John Ridgeway and Fedarian Mathis both make the final roster, along with Jerzon Newton, the second-round rookie. Then you get to the linebackers here. You got Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, and Dante Fowler Jr. is listed as a linebacker. Now, you might be saying, Jack, Dante Fowler is a edge rusher, and you'd be right about that. He's going to be lining up at that 4-3 under linebacker position there, and in the 4-3 under, there's a linebacker pretty much always on the line of scrimmage. So that's going to be Dante Fowler's job. Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner will be more of the inside guys in this system, and you also have Michael Walker and Dominique Hampton listed as a linebacker to make this final team. Then we get to the safety room here. Quan Martin and Jeremy Chin are expected to get most of the starting reps here, free safety, strong safety, respectively. But listen, man, in my roster projection, I said they're going to keep quite a few safeties here. Tyler Owens, I kind of nailed that one, producer Coop. I said he was going to make the team, and he did. Derek Forrest ends up making the team as a backup this year. Percy Butler, and then, of course, the special teams ace, Jeremy Reeves, rounds out the rest of the safety room. Then we get to the cornerback room here, and you get Emmanuel Forbes listed as the number 1 cornerback, Michael Davis listed as the number 2, and then you have Mike Samerstrill listed as the slot corner. Then you got Benjamin St. Juste and Noah Igbenogany to finish out the rest of the cornerback room, carrying 5 to start the season. Then you look at the special teams depth chart. You got Cade York, who this team traded for not too long ago from the Cleveland Browns. Then you get Tress Way, once again, as your punter, and Tyler Ott as the guy that they're bringing in here as the long snapper here on special teams. So overall, guys, I think that this is a pretty darn pretty darn good. I mean, it's pretty close to what we had in our roster projection, if I do say so myself. I said Tyler Owens all throughout camp was somebody that was proving his way and, working his way onto this roster, and it's just great to see UDFAs like Colson Yankoff and others like Tyler Owens make this roster. So tomorrow, it is waiver claims, guys, throughout the National Football League. So Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern time is when we're going to start getting these waiver claims starting to come in. Will the Commanders bring in anybody? I'm not too sure. I mean, I guess we'll see. It does seem like GM Adam Peters is trying to save as much cap space as he can to really load up on talent next offseason. So I guess we'll see if there's anybody that the Commanders particularly like. But I do think that the Commanders are going into the year with this roster, and they feel pretty darn good about it. So let me know down there in the comments section which Commanders cut was the biggest surprise of the day. For me personally, guys, I think it was probably KJ Henry, edge rusher that was just drafted last year. That surprised me quite a bit. But was there another cut that really surprised you today? Let me know down there in the comments section. Was it John Rice Plumlee? Or not John Rice Plumlee. Was it Trace McSorley? Was it Martavis Bryant? Let me know down there in the comments section who is somebody that you didn't want to see go. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate you guys for stopping by today. We'll be back tomorrow with waiver claims for the Washington Commanders if they make any. And if not, we'll just have a regular Commanders Report video. And we do have a live show tomorrow starting at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you click that subscribe button and join us for Commanders Report Live tomorrow.